And in our textbook, it's lesson number 6. So what we want to learn about is number formats, accounting number style, percentage style, comma style, and then decimal places. So it's going to be quite a simple, short lesson. And then in our next lesson, we'll be able to cover the other things. So some basic concepts. If we want to work in Excel, we can format cells to change in a number of ways, okay? We can change numbers and text to appear in a worksheet. We can, formatting doesn't necessarily change the underlying value, okay? The underlying value appears in the formula bar, and when the cell is selected, we can, the underlying value appears on the formula bar when a cell is selected and it's used in calculations. I beg your pardon there. So we will be wanting to learn about this. So formatting improves the overall performance of a worksheet and makes the numbers easier to read. And using formatting, you can currency symbols, such as percentage, commas, and we can specify a fixed number of decimal places. So these are some of the things that we're going to be doing and that we're going to be covering as well. Okay. So number formats can be applied to a single cell, an entire column or a row, or the whole worksheet. Okay. The computer by default uses the general style, and that has got no specific format or displays, and you can use that whenever you're working with it. And also this general style has no specific format and displays values as plain numbers, and there are no dollar symbols and commas, etc. Okay. So when you go to your spreadsheet or Excel, you can see the general style there. Okay, that's where it appears. So maybe what I can also quickly do is just access the spreadsheet and open spreadsheet. I want to. Okay, right. There we go. Please confirm you can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. So let's get into it. So we want to understand, firstly, number style, accounting number style. So this accounting, remember, I've also said you should have a textbook where you can just jot down a couple of basic notes. Doesn't have to be lots of notes. Mostly what we do is practical, but I'm happy for you to write down a couple of basic concepts. That's always very good to do. Okay, so the accounting number format is used for monetary values and currencies, and it allows decimal points and numbers in columns, and it aligns those columns. And let's allow Pida to join. And as you can see, this is what a general format looks like. And then when you're using the accounting number format, that's what it looks like. So we've already opened this file. And the first thing we are being asked to do is to select cell range B10 to F10. So let me do that. Okay, we did selection last time, B10 to F10. I've selected that cell range. Okay, and then I'm going to quickly check in the textbook. Then it's asking me to click on the Home tab and then to go to the accounting number format group. Okay, and then click on the arrow on the right of the accounting number format group. So let me see if I can find that. Okay, over here, there is the accounting number format group. So I've selected my cell range, and in the number section over here, there is a little down arrow. I'm clicking on it, and I have selected the accounting number format group. Now, there is information which is in all of these cells. Who can remind me, how can I display the information here? Do you see my cells now have got hashtags? How do I see what is in here? What does this mean?
I think you can move your mouse. I think you can move your mouse onto the number, or you can stretch out the We can stretch out the
Exactly.
cells.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a revision of what we did last week. I'm going to select my 5 columns. Okay. Let me just move this. I'm going to select my 5 columns, and then I'm going to resize. I can either double click and it will automatically resize, or I can click and drag. Let me take the option of double clicking. If I double click, the cells are automatically resized, and you can see now for these cells, the cell format has now been changed to accounting number style. So as a quick class exercise, I want to see that you can do what I've just demonstrated. Please, can you take screenshots of this number format style? I want you to open this file. I want you to select cells B10 to F10, and I want you to apply the automatic number style to those cells, exactly like I've done. And please send me screenshots so that I can see that you are comfortable and you are understanding what we are doing. Please confirm, I'm now using my Zoom from my browser. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
No issues, you can see my whole screen, yes?
Yes, sir.
Good, so it's still working. It's just I've had to sort of change what I wanted to do slightly. So over here, we want to apply the percentage style, like you're asking, okay? And we've been asked to select G5 through to G9, so I will demonstrate as well, and hopefully that should answer your question. G5 to G9, right? So I'm simply following the steps which are in the textbook, and having done that, I'm going to select the percentage symbol. Okay, there it is there, and when I press on the percentage symbol, do you see what has happened there? I'm going to undo that. We had a decimal 0.17. And if you remember from your mathematics, 0.17 is like saying 17 out of 100. So if you convert that into percentage, that is your 17%, 13%, and so on. Christian, what was your question for the percentage style there?
Okay. I was just getting confused on if we were supposed to make the like the cells that we had already selected into percentages.
Did you see what the instruction was there? Because I'm going through with each section, there is some concepts. It's explaining to you what the percentage symbol is all about. The number 5, if converted to percentage, is 500%. Okay? And
yes, sir.
The number 0.05 converted to percentage is 5%. So it all depends on the number. And then there is a little table here, 0.18 converted to percentage is 18%. 0.13 is 14%. Well, it rounds it off. 0.1357 rounds it off to 14%. So this is how the percentage style format works. And what I've just done is I've just demonstrated in the textbook the worked example that we are doing, which if I undo, has got those percentages. So for instance, there's 0.128 there. If I apply the percentage symbol, that becomes 13%. Okay, so it converts whatever values you have in the cell, those are converted into percentage. And like I'm saying, what the textbook is explaining is trying to show you what each number means. 5 becomes 500%. 0.18 becomes 18. 0.18 becomes 18%. 0.05 is 5%. It's like you're multiplying whatever is in there by 100. Any questions on the percentage style there? So, again, it's mostly fairly straightforward stuff we are doing. If there are no further questions, I'm happy to move on to the next format there. Are there any questions on percentage, or can I move on to comma style?
We can move on, sir.
Can move on. Fantastic. Fantastic. Awesome. Thanks, Leah. I've seen your second class exercise. So let's quickly move on to comma style. What is comma style? The comma style format, or the thousands separator, indicates commas in larger numbers to separate thousands, 100,000s, and so on. So for instance, if you've got 2,605, when I convert that to comma style, it becomes 2,605 to indicate that is 2,605. And then it also gives 2 decimal places. So I think, again, we are just learning the different formatting styles. So let's go through the worked class example. Remember, you're going to be doing assignments as well. So let's select B5 through to F9. And let's then select the comma style. I will do a demonstration. Please do the same on yours as well. So it's B5. Double check that. B5 to F9. That's what we need to select. B5 through to F9. Okay. And then the comma style, it's selected by going into the number group and clicking on the comma. If I do that, you will notice that the values now have the commas to indicate that, for instance, 2605, there is now a comma after the 2. So it's representing that that number is 2,605, and then there are 2 decimal places that have been added there. Okay, are you happy?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what I obviously want you to be doing is following along and doing this as well. Remember, there are the lesson for this week is broken up into 2 sections. What we are covering today is number formatting only. Okay, so we also want to look at decimal places, and that's the last one for today's lesson. So let's finish off with that. And what you can do is just do a bit of recap and review for that. But for today's lesson, what I wanted to cover are the different number formatting styles. I can still speak to the assignment, which is coming up later on in the week, as usual. And I'm planning to have another lesson, obviously, with you tomorrow as well, on Wednesday, I think it is. So let's finish off by looking at decimal places, and we will end there for today. Decimal places, numbers are already entered into a worksheet. You can increase or decrease the number of decimal places displayed. Default is 2 decimal places for built-in number format. And as is indicated here, you can increase or decrease those. So let's select B5 through to B9, and we can use this icon to decrease. So let's do that. We had already selected this range to have 2 decimal places. So if I want to decrease under the number format section, if I click on it once, it reduces. If I click on that again, it reduces. If I want to increase, I do that. Okay. So in our lesson today, we were covering number formats, and we looked at a number of different number formats that we discussed and went through, which are covered in this textbook. Really simple and fairly straightforward. Okay. And so we were looking at the first one we were looking at is the counting number style. When you're dealing with currencies and money, we were looking at percentage number style. We were looking at the comma number style, and we were looking at the decimal number style. What I will do is our next lesson, there is an exercise, an assignment, which wants you to make some changes to a certain file. You are now able to do the first part of your assignment. But like I did last week, I will quickly jump to the next lesson, which is lesson 7, and that is looking at text formatting. What I will do now is I'm happy to give you this file called format text so that you have it available and you can actually start working ahead on that as well. Okay. So I'm going to quickly share the text number format folder with you now, so that you have it available. Format text, but you are free to actually start working on our next lesson. Okay, there. Those who would like to read ahead, that is the file for format text. And just like we were doing with number formatting, you can go through it section by section, topic by topic. And if you go through that, you can actually do your assignment ahead of time and finish it. But we will obviously go through it together in our next lesson. If there are no more questions, I'm happy to end the lesson there. I'm available for anyone who needs additional support if you do. Otherwise, I think for today we are okay. Okay.
Good morning and thank you, sir.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Keep
sir.
going. Well done. Thank you very much and well done.